Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to our live review and spoiler discussion of the 2026 movie Masters of the Universe. Mattel expanding its toy line into the Mattel cinematic universe, I guess you could call it, with the first film in the franchise since the original way back in 1987. And I am old enough to remember going to that movie and being rather disappointed by it, even though it has grown on me over the years. So, did I like this one? Let's find out. With me, of course, is Cinematic Sterling and the one and only Right Dude. So, with us in spirit, of course, is the Geek Informant and Rome's, who also saw the film but were not able to be here today for various reasons.
And Austin might be joining us.
Austin might stop by later.
He's still in the middle of watching it.
Yeah, he's watching it now. So I mean, if he can make it home in time, maybe he can join TAT. Anyway, let's move on. All right, first, expectations. What were our expectations going into this? For me, being of course a huge fan of the original He-Man show, this was I had high expectations for this, honestly, because I was a huge fan of the original show. This was my biggest toy obsession growing up. I mean, I forgot all about collecting Star Wars toys and just started collecting He-Man when that came out in 1982. And I remember the original figures, and I remember the original little bitty comic books that came with them. And, the original stories of those little comics were very different from what it became in the cartoon, where it became kind of this kind of campy kids cartoon, because originally it had more in common with, say, Conan the Barbarian, which was a big inspiration for the line from the originally. It was supposed to be like a sort of kids version of Conan the Barbarian, inspired by the old Franz Frazetta art for Conan. So, but of course, then in 1983, a year later, in September of 1983, the show hit, and obviously that became a huge hit, and I loved it. Of course. So for me, I wanted to see basically my childhood restored, and I guess we're talking about whether or not it met our expectations here. So, Wes, I would say it definitely met that goal then and then some. Honestly, my expectations were tempered a bit when I heard the reviews came out. It was kind of mixed, but I was still kind of hopeful, because it seemed to me that this may be something that would be more kind of a niche film, I guess, for fans. And if you're, say, a fan of the original comics, then yeah, because even my kids thanked me for, like Kaylee thanked me for, said, "Dad, thank you for letting us grow up with this," because I mean, they got it too, because they grew up watching it too with me. So, because I still watched it as an adult when they were kids. So, but yeah, so my expectations were fairly high going in. So, and I would say it met them. So, Devin, what about you?
I'm not super nostalgic for He-Man, but I do remember watching the original show, because they did reruns of it on Cartoon Network in like the early to mid 2000s. So I remember catching those, and I remember it being a fun show. I remember Skeletor always being like the coolest part, but that's because, well, when I was little, skeletons were kind of my obsession. Still are, as you can see. Oh, there we go. So when I saw the trailers for this, I thought it looked like a lot of fun. I didn't think it looked like, oh, I have to see this now, but it just looked like a fun time at the movies. And what do I think? Stay tuned.
All right, so my turn. So unlike the old man, I think I'm pointing the right one, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. For some reason, StreamYard, it's a little weird because it's so mirrored. I'm always having to point in the opposite direction. Anyway, unlike Mark, I was not a He-Man kid. That was like years before my time, because that came out in '83. I want to say that was like 5 years. That was like 6 years before I was born. And I wasn't really big on He-Man. I mean, because keep in mind, I was more into like, as a kid, I was more into like Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, Pokemon, you know. I'm a 90s kid, so not an 80s kid. But despite not being a big He-Man guy or knowing anything about Masters of the Universe, I saw the trailer of it, and it did look like a fun time. So it did look fun, you know. It looked pretty interesting, you know. Maybe I was getting a little bit of a Ragnarok vibes with the style, but I mean, it still intrigued me enough. So, and yeah, so that's my expectations. I end up having to go to an early access screening because it was Wednesday night. I went to go see it as an early access screening because I get off at work at 10 o'clock at night. So just know that. And there was a 10:15 showing. Originally, I was originally going to go at 10:45 on Friday. That would have far worse. But I didn't want to have to come home at 2 a.m. So I just said, you know what, screw it. I'll just go to this early access screening, and stay tuned for my thoughts.
Yeah, I wanted to originally go to the early access, but I mean, my girlfriend was said she was going to come down and watch it with me and the kids, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait for her. So I was patient, and it paid off. So
but absolutely,
yeah. So
and all right. So before we move on to the positives, let's go. Mr. Geek Informant, John, he pretty much sent his voice messages to me.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and play it.
Yeah,
he pretty much did
play one. So. Yeah.
All right.
So my expectations were not great in the beginning. When it was first announced, I'm like, oh, okay, like let's see. I'm intrigued because I know a little bit about He-Man. Then they revealed the set photos that's going to take place on Earth. So I'm like, oh god, they're redoing the fucking shitty movie from the '80s. Like, why? Makes no sense. And then that first trailer looked really fucking bad. It looked like really bad AI. I'm just like, oh, this just looks terrible. So I'm like, I'm probably not going to see this movie. And then luckily, the next two trailers and clips won me over. It looked like a lot of fun. I didn't expect anything great, but I expected a fun time. And with that, onto the review, because I don't want to reveal anything else outside of my expectations right now.
Okay.
I get that, because when I first heard that they were going to do Part of the Earth, I'm like, come on, don't tell me they're doing the '87 movie again, because I mean that was the big complaint about the '87 movie, is that we didn't really get to see Eternia. You got to see a little bit of Grayskull, and that's pretty much it. I mean, even Grayskull didn't really look like Grayskull. It looked like more like the Dark Tower from Stephen King's universe. So, yeah, with a little skull face on there at the bottom. But I mean, it looked weird. But yeah, but anyway, let's go to the positives. Let's go into the positives. So the positives for me, I think, the action was fantastic. The action was really, really good. This one, speaking of the 1987 film, this did not have that problem. This felt like He-Man. Nicholas Galitzine, I think, did really great with his Prince Adam and He-Man, as this kind of he felt like Prince Adam is supposed to be a goofy guy. He's supposed to be not the guy you would think of as He-Man. This is not the guy you would think of as to be, the savior of the universe. So so the action was really good. I thought the lore, they got really, really, they did great with the lore. You had a bunch of characters in there. You had Mechaneck, Beastman, Triclops, who was really, really good in the film. Spycore, of course, Skeletor and Eagle Lynn. You had He-Man, of course, Tila. You had Duncan, or Man at Arms. You had Ram Man and Fisto. So I liked the humor. I thought the humor was good, but I mean, it may be, but I mean, I liked it anyway. So, yeah, I thought, and I liked the story, actually. I thought the dramatic moments were appropriately done, like the tension between Tila and Duncan, you know, where he feels like a failure, he's become a drunk, you know, and you know she's like disappointed in him, of course. You know, she feels like she has to take care of him now, and you know he like really wants to prove himself to her. So, and you know, of course, when Prince Adam comes back, he kind of gets his mojo back, and you know, so, and of course, with Prince Adam struggling, you know, am I really a hero? Am I really the right guy for this? You know, and at the end of the day, you know, finds out that, yeah, that what was his thought to be his greatest weakness turns out to be his greatest strength, his capacity for empathy. I really like that part. So because He-Man is ultimately, his greatest strength is not that he's the strongest. Actually, his greatest strength is that he has the most empathy. It's his heart, you know. So that's why he's worthy, like the sorceress said. I thought the acting was really good. All the characterization was done really well. So, in the lore, Jared Leto as Skeletor was just freaking killing it, because he managed to be both funny and menacing at the same time. So he provided a really, really strong balance there, I think. And Camila Mendes kicked ass as Tila. Honestly, she really kicked ass as Tila. I thought that Idris Elba was really great as Man-at-Arms. The villains were great. So all Trapjaw, of course, you got a lot of Trapjaw in there. But Alison Brie as Evil Lynn was really good. So I really liked it. I really liked it. You know, it felt like a He-Man movie. So I didn't have that problem in 1987 movie at all. So Devin, take it away.
I can't hear anything, dude. Dude, we can't hear anything.
What the fuck? I was trying to play the song.
I think it's because your is your microphone. Yeah, we couldn't hear it for some reason.
God damn it! I ruined the joke. I was trying to play the song.
Mm.
But anyway, my positives. I thought the acting was pretty good. Nicholas, how do you say his last name again?
Sorry, Galatzine, Nicholas Galatzine.
Galatzine. He was pretty good as He-Man, although I do have some issues with his character. Alison Brie, she was really good. Camila Mendes was great. Was great. She had good chemistry with He-Man. Of course, Sir Idris Elba is Sir Idris Elba, so he's always going to do great. However, the best performance in the movie, hands down, is surprisingly Jared Leto as Skeletor. I was shocked with how good he was in this role, because I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto. You know, not really as an actor. I used to like him as a musician, but the dude is a massive douchebag, and 30 Seconds to Mars hasn't put out a good album in years. But I think he was fantastic as Skeletor. He was the best part of the movie. I loved how he looked. I loved his voice. I loved his mannerisms. Like, he nailed playing an over-the-top, goofy supervillain. You know, just like in the cartoon. That whatever Skeletor was on screen, I had a huge smile on my face. Like, he really was a great villain. The action scenes were a lot of fun, especially when when He-Man, like when he first becomes He-Man and he starts kicking ass, and of course the big fight he has with Skeletor at the end of the movie. The soundtrack was great. I'm a huge fan of The Cure, as you guys know, so I loved how the movie opened with Boys Don't Cry. And I loved how they make a reference to the meme. Like during when the monster starts attacking.
When the monster's attacking and they're playing What's Up by the Four Non-Blondes.
Four Non-Blondes, yeah.
Yeah, like the monster starts attacking, and then all of a sudden I hear I said, hey, what's going on?
And hold on. Devin, before you finish, this is for you. Oh. Can you hear it?
Really?
Oh shit. Sorry. Oh well, I tried.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved how they referenced the meme.
Yeah.
So good on them. And yeah, those are like my main positives for the movie: the acting, Skeletor, the soundtrack, and the action.
Okay. Yes. For my positives are pretty much the same thing. You know, the acting was great all around. I did like the action. And somebody's on Google. Okay. Oh, he's gonna play it for us.
Upgrade your laptop instantly without paying for a new one with the SanDisk Extreme Fit Choice. SanDisk.
Random advertisement in the middle of the stream.
Not sponsored, we promise.
We're not sponsored.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And I feel it. I need you. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I feel the top of my lungs. What's going on? What's going on? And I say,
What's going on? All right.
Let's stop before we get copyrighted. Yeah, let's stop before we get copyrighted.
That was fun.
That was fun though. But anyway, as I was saying, like the acting was great all around. Even though Jared Leto, yes, he is a douchebag in real life, and he is pretty much the laughing stock now with like failures of like Tron Ares or Morbius. You know, he's considered a laughing stock now. But remember, he actually can act when given the right material. I mean, the man got a Oscar nomination. Like, I think he won an Oscar.
He won.
Yeah.
Best supporting actor for
Dallas Buyers Club.
He's really fucking good in that movie.
He is
amazing.
So the man can act.
Dude, I remember him when he was just a fucking kid on fucking with Claire Danes on My So-Called Life. He was really good then. I mean, shit. He's always been a really good actor. It's just that shit. He just keeps making shitty choices. Like Tron Ares was not his fault.
Tron Ares or Morbius.
Tron Ares was just a shitty script. I mean, that was just period. You know, I mean, but anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, but anyway, the action was really good. Although I do have an issue with I do have an issue with the action. But I mean, when it works, it works. But I'll talk about my problem later on. I thought the music score was well done. You know,
Brian fucking May.
Yeah. I do like the look of like Eternia and Grayskull. You know, they did look like Grayskull. It does feel like you're at Eternia.
Exactly.
So I do like that. And yeah, I do like what they were like. I'm kind of glad that they didn't just rip off Thor, you know, because at first I think one thing that kind of worried me a little bit when I was watching the beginning is I kept worrying that they were going to completely rip off Thor. But thankfully it doesn't go into that fish out of water kind of story, you know, because after he loses the sword and lands to Earth, it cuts to years later.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm glad we don't have the whole. Yeah. Oh, what is this? What do you call this on your planet? Ooh.
Yeah, you know? I was glad about that. I mean, because they, you know, I mean, the
fish out of water story has been done to death, you know.
Yeah, they kept that part brief, and I was happy about that. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't go to that. So, exactly. If I have any more positives, I'll let you know. So,
Yeah, but I agree. I think the best part of it was that it was fun. You know, that was the big positive here. So I guess next is what we wanted the sequel.
Well, hold on. It's John's positives.
Okay, John's positive. Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
First, my positives. The first thing that I really fucking loved about this movie is the score from Daniel Pemberton and Brian May. It is all sorts of motherfucking awesome 80s awesomeness. It's so fucking awesome. When that main theme kicked in, I was like, holy fucking shit. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready to be, you know, in this world for 2 hours. Hell yeah. It like Daniel Pemberton just dropped the 2 best scores of this year without even trying. Like, dude is probably becoming one of my favorite new composers because holy shit, that was awesome. Then Skeletor, yes, Jared Leto is a piece of gigantic garbage. We all know this. Everyone knows this. Maybe except for his cult, but most people know Jared Leto sucks. However, the one thing about Jared Leto that doesn't suck is his acting. And with this, he delivers a very good performance here as Skeletor. He, without a doubt, delivered on the campiness of the character and the somewhat serious villainous parts of the character. Ridiculous as hell, but tons of fun. I absolutely really loved his performance. I thought he actually did a very good job because he nailed it, even though he didn't have the famous voice of Skeletor. He, you know, still delivered.
Yeah.
Then I think the action sequences were really awesome whenever He-Man is getting down and dirty and fighting, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Whenever those scenes were happening, whenever He-Man was being He-Man, boom, I was in it. And then for the most part, the acting was pretty good. Outside of, you know, Jared Leto's Skeletor, I really liked Idris Elba as Man at Arms. I thought he actually went through a fucking character arc, and I actually really intrigued that with the whole idea. Was intrigued with that because it was like, you know, they kind of flipped the whole depressed old man like trope that they've been doing so much of in media nowadays, that they actually flipped it, that he actually gets his spark back and he actually, you know, becomes the hero he once was and fucking, you know, kills the guy, did this to him and all that shit. So that I loved, not just because of this subverting of the bullshit trope of like, Luke is depressed now, Indiana Jones is depressed now. Fuck that shit. Man at Arms is coming back and he's gonna fucking kill Trapjaw. Boom. Awesome. Love to see it. Everyone else, I thought Camila Mendes did an okay job. I thought like all the side characters, Ram Man, Fisto, all those guys did a pretty good job. It was nice to see Dolph Lundgren. That was a good thing. Nick Galitzine, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, did do a pretty good job. However, there is some stuff in mixed I will mention. As well as the fact this movie's colorful. It has color, guys. This is where all the color for muted, gray, brown, shitty movies went. It went to this movie. So we all know who stole the color. This is Street Fighter. They stole all the color from other movies, guys. But the color was great. It actually has color. So fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. But that's I think pretty much it for positives.
Colors, Duke. The colors.
Colorblind, kid.
Cameos. The cameos, all the cameos were just so much fun, you know. I mean, Jesus, I seeing Dolph Lundgren, you know, like that's the original.
That was
like,
awesome.
That's honestly, even as someone who doesn't know shit about He-Man, I didn't watch the '80s movie. Even I was like, oh, they got Dolph Lundgren. That is awesome,
Dolph Lundgren, man. Yeah. Even said "Good Journey," man. I'm like, oh my god, yes. Oh, geez, that was wonderful. But yeah, so I guess next is what we wanted the sequel, or was that one, or was that a special one for?
I think that was for Michael.
That was just for Michael. Okay, all right.
We have positives, mixed, negatives, and then overall thoughts. Unless you want to add any other ones.
No. Mixed is fine. Mixed is
Yeah,
fine.
because
So,
for some reason, because Jay, he did a lot of different categories for the Michael review.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So, but I guess for mixed, I don't know. I guess we just go in mixed or negatives. I guess would be what I call your mileage may vary, because I don't think they necessarily did a great job as much as they may have wanted to of kind of reaching out, to non-fans. So because I think it was really more niche for people who are really, really fans of the original. Like this was to me a love letter for fans of the original show, which is great for like me. But if you were not a fan of the original show, such as, these guys here who didn't grow up with it the way I did, then, it's kind of a crapshoot whether or not you could go one way or the other, So, I mean, I don't think you'll have a bad time with it, but I mean, it could, you might not connect with it like a real fan would. So, but I guess that would be my only real mixed or negative there. It's the your mileage may vary factor, but like even like my girlfriend, she didn't grow up watching the show. She's my age, she didn't grow up watching the show, but I mean, like she's not familiar with the show, but she still liked it. She still had fun with it. So, I mean, I would say you'll still probably have fun, but you may not connect with it as much as others will. So, Devin?
I I would put this under mixed because it definitely feels like more like a nitpick. I do find it kind of weird because the beginning of the movie, Adam is spending a lot of time trying to find his sword, and when he finally gets the sword and he finally becomes He-Man, he barely uses it.
He doesn't use it.
He'll use it sometimes, but for the most part, he's either he's doing hand to hand or using other stuff. All right, he's got the sword. Okay, he's using one of the guys' lasers. Okay. It's just weird. He spends the first half of the movie trying to find the sword. He finally gets it in his hands and he barely uses it. Bro, you finally have the sword. Kick some ass with the sword.
Exactly.
It's like Thor finally getting his hammer back and he barely uses the hammer. He just kicks people. I would definitely put that more under mixed because that's more of a nitpick, not necessarily a big negative.
I would say the only mixed I might have is the I think the only thing I have with the mixed is the CGI because
that'll be a mix for me.
Some CGI does look cool, because I'll say the Eternia and Castle Grayskull, they look awesome. But this is what I was going with about the action sequences. This is what I was going about. I said that I had a problem with some of the action sequences, and the biggest one is the CGI, which looks awful. The CGI when they fight, it looks really bad. So, you could see, it almost looks like everyone has just turned to rubber or something, and it just looks really, So, but I mean, it's not all the CGI was bad, but it's just when it gets bad, it gets really bad. So that's why I'm going to put it under mixed. So.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. We ready to move on to negatives?
Does John have any mixed?
Did John have any mixed?
Shit! I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yes, you did forget.
Yeah, how dare I? How dare I not support my friends?
How dare you be?
Now we get into my mixed. The first thing I have, even though I like Galaxine's performance as He-Man, I thought that some of his line delivery was a bit stilted, a little bit awkward. Not the best thing ever, but not the worst. It wasn't a horrendous performance. I think it's just some of his delivery, like when his father's dying, that was a little awkward. Or when he was at Prince Adam, when he was just Adam before he becomes He-Man. A lot of cringy, awkward stuff with that. So I'm not great. But with that, I think most of the humor falls flat for me personally. It just maybe one or two was like a nose exhale, maybe a chuckle, but like for the most part, it was a little cringy, especially coming from hey, look how much of a dumbass Adam is. Like, all right, it got stretched thin very quickly, and it just kind of got cringy after a while. But nothing too bad. That's why it's in mixed, But yeah, what else? Oh yeah, I thought the pacing was a little not great. Again, it wasn't horrendous, but it was kind of choppy. It felt a little awkward at points. Like it was very structured, very, very weird. Like you had the whole prologue, and it's like, oh, he's telling he's dating this, and then it goes into the Earth stuff for a little bit, which thankfully they didn't spend too much time on, because who the fuck wants to see a Masters of the Universe movie that takes place almost entirely on Earth? Anyway, then it goes into like this whole thing of Eternia, but he's still stuck as Adam. And it's just like it feels awkward. Even when he finally becomes He-Man, it starts to get going and find its footing. But even it's still a little awkward at points. So I felt that the structure and pacing was a little weird. Then I will say that, some CGI and green screen were misses. I didn't think it was that atrocious. It was just like, oh, those are some obvious green screen shots, or oh, some CGI shots aren't great. But for the most part, it looks good. Like but yeah, it's still noticeable for some of the CGI shots. And then, yeah, I think that's kind of it. Just the pacing was a little awkward, and then the humor wasn't that great, and some of Nick Galatzine's line deliveries. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I guess now we're ready to move on to negatives.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I don't really necessarily have any negatives, honestly, because I really liked it. I guess the only thing would be like nitpicks, like, can we get Merman in the fucking movie, bro? I just want fucking Merman. Just give me Merman. I didn't get him in the 1987 movie. I was pissed about that. I didn't even get him here. I want fucking Merman, dude. I mean, I know it's like kind of awkward to have, okay, we need a water adventure. No, you don't. Just give me fucking Merman, damn it. But anyway.
Merman!
Yeah, exactly.
Merman!
What?
Zoolander reference.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, but honestly, no, I love the film. Honestly, I don't really have any negatives. Sorry, but but I guess, like I said, the only one would be kind of the your mileage may vary factor. So I mean, it's although that's more of a mixed. So go ahead, Devin.
I'd say, like, in terms of my negatives, I'd say my biggest issue with the movie was probably the humor. A lot of the jokes and the humor, with the exception of Skeletor, really did not land for me. And it was giving me MCU vibes where it's just annoying, where the quips just got kind of annoying and they were mostly inappropriately placed. Like, not gonna lie, when I heard people were comparing this to Ragnarok, I got really worried. Not just because, well, like some of us here, I think that movie is massively overrated. And one of the reasons was because of the humor. And like I said, the humor here really didn't work for me. The CGI was very hit or miss. At some points, it looked really cool, like with Skeletor and Castle Grayskull and Eternia. But some of the monsters looked kind of wonky. A lot of the action looked weird. And I would say the pacing was off and kind of inconsistent in spots. At some points, it would drag, but other points, it would move like a little too quick. Like there was never like a good balance. Like at some points, I was bored, but other times, it's like, okay, that was quick. We got to have like a good like meet in the middle. but those are like my big three like issues with the movie: the humor, the pacing, and some of the CGI.
Yeah, I've already mentioned about the CGI, so I'll just move on to my other problems. I do agree that the pacing was all over the place. So, like you said, it was pretty much, it goes from everything going too fast to everything just dragging. Like there's no consistency with that. And of course, the biggest thing is the humor. Humor is just real. Like it's just more the unfunny. It's more the unfunny quips. It honestly just reminded me of it. And like Devin said, a lot of the quips were so timely placed, where you have like a big serious moment and then it's ruined by a joke. It was reminding me so much of Ragnarok, even though I don't have a massive hate boner for that movie like some people do. And the less said about shit and blunder, the better. But anyway, yeah, the humor was just really obnoxious, and it almost felt like an MCU movie without being an MCU movie. Maybe it's not horrendous like it was like with Ragnarok, where it's like a joke every 2 minutes or something, but it's still noticeable. And like I said, there's a lot of serious moments that were ruined by a stupid joke. So, and that's what really gets to me. So those are pretty much my big negatives. So, yeah. And also, I'll go ahead and just play Mr. Geek Informant's negatives.
Wait, hold on. Look who's backstage.
What?
Hello.
Oh,
I'm here at the very
Geek
end.
Informant!
Perfect timing.
Yes, because I do have one negative.
Okay.
I have one negative about the film. The only negative I have about Masters of the Universe is the fact they didn't give us the fucking meme with Skeletor saying, "Until we meet again."
That would have been perfect for the last one. That would have been
perfect for the post-credit scene,
Yes.
but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I was kind of upset about that. But outside of that, no negatives. Because they did the What's Going On song meme.
Yeah.
Travis Knight was aware of the memes, but they didn't put the more important one down. So, I was upset about that. But
the closest we could. Yeah, they played the real song, What's Up,
the actual song in that.
Now question is, what's the more popular meme? Until we meet again, or yeah.
Well, the thing is, until you meet again, I would say so, because that's more current. People are still posting memes of that. People don't even fucking know about the What's Going On meme, because that was popular like 15 years ago.
10, 15, yeah, because I think that came out in the early 2010s.
Skeletor
that's
memes
like
here
that was
are
like
so popular.
prime YouTube viral meme type shit.
Plus, don't forget to remember such and such and such.
Remember, that's what Until We Meet Again. Remember, and you have that until we meet again, and then he's running away. So that was my only negative.
All right.
But
so,
all right.
Yay.
So, yeah. All right. So I guess next is our overall thoughts.
Yep.
And for me, like I said, this was a love letter to fans of the original show. So if you love the original show, then I pretty much guarantee you're going to love this one. So, I grew up with the original show. I was 8 years old when that toy line came out. And then the very next year, a couple of months before my birthday, when the show premiered. And dude, I grew up watching that show. And I remember going to the original 1987 movie. That's how old my ass is. 39 fucking years ago. So, I remember being disappointed with that. Although, like I said, it grew on me. So, and
you managed to get the drink cup, or is that something?
That's not a drink cup. That's just the foam one.
Okay. Because they were all sold out of the drink cup. I was very upset, but I had a feeling they would be, so it wasn't too upsetting. And then, of course, like scalpers are selling them on fucking eBay for like $200. So it's like, fuck that shit.
Fucking stupid. exactly. So
Scalpers ruin everything.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, sirree,
even
they
for the
do.
popcorn thing, they only had they had like the
Chris has
10.
tool
I
fans.
got it, but I mean, but so just to
I-
have
Just
mainly
as Steam
drink
fans,
cups.
just as Steam fans, because remember when the Steam controller got released and it sold out after 30 minutes, and most of them went to like scalper bots, and they were
Mhm.
pretty much selling them for like 3 or 4 times the price.
yeah.
Yep. But luckily, Steam did when they put them back up again, they did like you can only pay for it if like you had an account for this amount of time and you used it to pay for something. If it's only one per customer, so they did get one up on the scalpers like the next time, which was good because Steam does nothing and wins, but even when they do something, they still win. So that was good on them for Steam because Steam is based. I don't care what anybody says. It's, you know. Yeah, I
And
had
I-
a lot
and
of.
I know
Even
you're-
today, when I went to go see another movie at the theater today, they still had a bunch of Skeletor popcorn buckets and mainly drink cups. Drink cups don't sell as well as the popcorn buckets, so
Yeah.
they still had a ton of those too.
You know what's actually funny? Because I think it was like, I think when I went to go see Masters of the Universe, I looked on the back counter, and I saw that they still had Mandalorian Grogu popcorn buckets. And I talked to the lady. They said, "Oh, we have a lot more in the back."
Yep.
Yeah, it shows how much that's selling.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess my overall thoughts, you know, like I said, I mean, and I was a massive fan. There are very few toys I didn't have. And matter of fact, I still have all of them upstairs in my attic. I still have the original Castle Grayskull.
I should have brought him out for the review.
I know,
Yeah.
I really should. I should have. The Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, all of them. I mean,
Maybe
man, all
you
of
could
the
bring it
legs have
down.
fallen off, but
Maybe
I
you
mean,
could bring it down when we do the do a hangout before
oh
our
yeah,
other
I have
stream.
to do that. I have to
Yeah.
do that
Yeah.
because I'm planning on bringing them down, and because now that Kaylee has moved out, you know, I'm moving Jack into Kaylee's room, and I'm going to take Jack's room and put it, you know, all my collectibles and my books in there.
This
and
is going to
everything.
be my nerd room.
Exactly my nerd room. That's a perfect word for it. My nerd
Honestly,
room.
you should get like a sign for it, like keep out Mark's nerd room.
Exactly.
Get fucked.
You know what? I'm going to put
Trespassers
that
will be
sign
shot.
up. Yes, exactly. I'll put that sign I found at Goodwill on it. The sign, the geek sign. Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, I was. If you're, you know, if you love the original show, I guarantee you'll love it. But like I said, you know, if you're not, your mileage may vary. Not saying you won't like it, because I mean, like my girlfriend, she thought it was a lot of fun. You know, my kids loved it, but then again, my kids grew up with the show because they watched. You know, I watched it with them. I showed them the show. I mean, of course they loved it. But I mean, like Kaylee actually, like I said, thanked me for introducing them to that. So, but I mean, so I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, the music, the characters, all the fun. Jared Leto was just a blast as Skeletor. And I thought basically this is a really, really fun time. So great popcorn movie and had a blast. So especially all the cameos. And, you know, when Orko showed up, I geeked the living fuck out. You know, I was like jumping up and down in my seat. And then She-Ra.
Yeah. And by the way, before we get to one other thing, like I said, I didn't grow up with He-Man, but my sister-in-law did. So
Okay.
Jennifer, if you're watching,
yeah, you're going to want to see it, Jennifer. And honestly, I've got to say one last thought. I think even if this doesn't make its movie back, I think they should still do a She-Ra movie because I think She-Ra could be even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's Amazon. They got money to
Oh
fucking
yeah,
like
they got money
shit
falling
out.
out of their
Like,
asshole. Yeah,
yeah, like come on.
I still think they'll wind up making money on this. Honestly, I mean with the merch and
with the
everything.
merch, they still have so much money from the merch.
Yeah. Oh God.
So-
Yeah. But go ahead, Devin.
Sorry.
Oh, did you give your score?
What's
Did
your
you give your
score,
score?
Mark?
Oh, sorry, shit, I forgot. My score. Shoot. Let me go back to my score. Is
Hi, Jack.
Honestly, 10 out of 10. That's my
Okay.
vote.
Awesome.
That is Jack. Everybody. Say
Hello.
hey, Jack. All right. So yeah, my score. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Devin.
So my overall thoughts, I thought the movie was just okay. Nothing amazing, but nothing terrible. If you're a hardcore He-Man fan like this guy, you will definitely love it. You'll get a kick out of it. But if you're more like a casual like moviegoer, I'd say maybe wait for streaming. And
Fair.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It was better than fucking Scary Movie 6, that's for sure.
I mean, that's a low bar.
The fact that Scary Movie 6 grossed more than this is fucking insane.
Yep.
I'm not surprised, honestly, because I mean that series has been going on forever, and with the weigh-ins back, but I mean, so. But
My
anyway,
happiness and respect for that movie goes as far as I'm glad the Wayans have it and the Weinsteins don't. Like, that's the extent. Is like, nice, cool. Doesn't mean I'm going to watch your boring ass, edgy garbage, but like, I'm glad you have it back. Good for you. Meanwhile, I saw real comedy cinema today, but that's beside the point. Anyway, sorry, Rob. I keep cutting you off. Continue.
Yeah, how dare you cut me off? How dare you speak your opinion? Anyway, all joking aside, for me, I think this movie is fine. If you're a He-Man fan, you'll absolutely love this movie. I'm sure that this is the movie you've been waiting for. Because it's been 40 years since you've got a He-Man movie, and I mean, I get it. You'll feel like a child again. I was that way with Power Rangers 2017, with Detective Pikachu, and with the Sonic movies. Because I grew up with like Power Rangers, Pokemon, and Sonic. So I get it. But as someone who's not really a big He-Man guy, I will say that this movie, like I said, is fine. It definitely has its problems with the humor, the CGI, and the pacing, but there's still some fun. There's still some fun moments, fun action here and there. The acting's really well done, So those are pretty much my thoughts, and I would give it a just like with this guy, 6 out of 10,
which is fair, I think. So I mean, but. All right.
So now I can finally give my actual thoughts on camera instead of just a voice message. But so I went in not expecting a ton, and I got what I got. Like, as I'm sure pretty much most people know, I'm not a massive He-Man fan. I'm sure I'm happy. The best thing to come out of this movie is that the most cynical bastard I know is acting like a fucking 10-year-old again, and that fills my heart with goddamn joy. So you know what? I'm okay with that. But even then, I still liked the movie. I still thought that this was a very fun movie. Like, as I'm sure the voice messages said, I really liked Jared Leto as Skeletor. It pains me to say that because Jared Leto is a fucking massive piece of garbage. But he is great. Like, say we will about the guy. He's an asshole. He's a terrible method actor. He has a cult. He's probably a pedophile. And he's probably a sexual assaulter against multiple women. But he is a very good actor. So I will give him that. He is a very good actor, and he understood the assignment with Skeletor. He's campy, he's silly, but he's still a menace when need be. Yeah. Like, he can still be menacing. So I liked that. I also really, really, really liked Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. He was probably the best guy, because he had he was the only one that had a viable character arc here. Like, he was the subversion of the washed up old man trope that Hollywood's been jerking off the past 10 years. And you know what? They're like, oh, he's a depressed old guy for a reason. Like, his one purpose was stripped away from him, but then he got it back and he fucking killed the guy, and it was great. It was a good, well done character arc, and I really appreciate that. And Idris Elba, the man's a great actor. Like, no matter what, even if the movie's bad, I'm not saying this was bad, he gave a good performance. The rest of the actors do a really good job. I think the worst was probably Nick Galitzine, but he's not as experienced, so he did have some stilted delivery. But for the most part, I think he did a pretty good job. He was annoying as Adam, which was the point, so I'm not gonna go insane over that. The Daniel, oh my god, bro, I will be on my knees day and night for Daniel Pemberton at this point, bro.
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary and this, fucking those scores, impeccable. And then you have Brian motherfucking May with those goddamn guitar riffs, bro. Holy fucking, like, whenever you're bringing Queen into a movie, the movie could be trash, they will have a great score. Highlander, Flash Gordon, and this. I mean, Princes of the Universe is what Highlander is from Highlander, so I hope they use it for the Highlander reboot as well. But we'll see how that goes. But that score, the score, Skeletor, and then the action sequences were fucking great. Then most of the cast do a really good job, with Idris Elba being the highest point outside of Jared Leto. And then I will say the CGI, I don't think it was as atrocious as you guys were saying. I mean, I noticed a couple bad shots, maybe a couple bad green screen effects. Nothing terrible, so I'm not gonna, go crazy over it. But I will agree that it was very weirdly paced and weirdly structured and weirdly edited. It just felt awkward. Once he becomes He-Man, it starts to get better, like pacing-wise, so I will give that. But I felt it was still, like, a little choppy at points, a little oddly structured a lot of the time. But then, I mean, I wish they embraced and Terror We Meet Again. I really wish they did that. That would have been so good. But yeah, and I really like I forgot to mention this in my positives in my voice message. The prosthetics were really good. The makeup and prosthetics, especially for Trap Jaw, those were awesome. Those were great. And I will say the humor wasn't the best either. It was mostly missed for me. There was a couple chuckles. The one joke that really made me laugh was towards the end when Skeletor is making He-Man hallucinate. And he's like, your muscular thighs with your long sword. That legit made me laugh out loud in the theater.
Like I said, the only stuff that really made me laugh was the stuff with Skeletor. Like when he comes in, he's in fucking office attire. Like that was great.
It was
that
great.
was
Like, it was funny. Like it worked.
Yeah.
But that was the joke that really. Everything else was like kind of a chuckle, maybe a nose exhale. But like for the most part, the humor was kind of missed for me. But even then, it's corny. It's cheesy, it's ridiculous, and that's exactly what He-Man is. Honestly, with the amount of cheese in this movie, I bet every lactose intolerant person would be dead by the end of the movie. That's how much cheese was in this movie. But I still had a really good time with it. I'm more like I know He-Man through the memes. I know a little bit of the lore. I've never watched any of the shows. I just know a little bit. But even for me, I still enjoyed the hell out of it. I had a fun time. I went in expecting a silly action comedy romp. And that's exactly what I got. I went a little bit longer with overall thoughts because this is me finally showing up after voice messages. So I went a little bit long. I apologize. But I give it a 7 out of 10. I had a fun time with it. I really enjoyed it. Is it the greatest of the year? No. But it does probably have the second greatest score of this year. I will give it that because all praise be Daniel Pemberton now. He also did the score for Into the Spider-Verse, which was also really good. So, Pemberton is my boy now, along with Michael Giacchino.
Yeah. So, I agree. And Rome's gave it an 8 out of 10. We don't have a review from him, so he really liked it a 2, apparently. Austin said that he
didn't like it. He didn't
like it. He freaking loved it. I mean, that's same here too. So I mean,
and he even said Jared Leto might be genuine scum, but he was perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's just playing himself. He's a scumbag.
Yeah, exactly.
That was another thing I loved. I didn't like how it was so tongue-in-cheek and they were kind of going like on about it. And that was another thing where it was like, I wish it was not played seriously, but I wish the cheesiness was not like, oh, hey, look at this, get a load of this guy type like Marvel-esque humor.
Yeah.
However, I still, for the most part, forgive it. But I will say I love how they're like, it's like, why is Skeletor early on when Camila Mendes Tila is like bringing He-Man to Adam to Eternia, he's like, why is Skeletor doing this? And then she's just like, he's bad.
He's bad.
There's got to
Exactly.
be something
Thank
more
you.
than that.
I love
He's
that.
got a skeleton for a face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just because that's what I
He
think
said
is
it himself. He's like, I'm the villain, man. Exactly.
Exactly.
There's
And I
no
love
overthinking.
that.
He's
I
bad
love that
because he's
because
bad. Exactly.
he's bad. Like honestly, that's what I feel like a lot of movies are kind of missing nowadays. Is just sometimes you just need a one-dimensional villain who's just a bad guy because he wants to be bad.
You
Now,
don't
I'm not
have.
saying
You don't
should
need.
only
You don't need
do
to
that.
have any kind of complex
But it's like,
motive.
oh,
Villains are not
villains
onions.
are
They
the
don't have
heroes
layers.
of their
They don't-
own story. No, fuck that shit. Why
Yeah.
does General Zod want to take over the world of Superman 2? I can. That's why. Fuck you. You know what? And I love that. I love that. So I'm
What
all
Austin
for it.
said.
I love
Yeah.
that too. Just Skeletor's bad. Why? I don't know.
One thing
Fuck
I
it.
love too is I love the explanation for the names. You know, that he was a kid, he was 10 years old, you know, like Fisto. I love the
Yeah.
jokes about fucking Fisto. I mean, he likes to fist people. And finally, he's like, yeah. You know,
I'm
so-
fisting people.
exactly. Everybody's laughing at him first, but then he embraced it. He's like, yeah, you know, so I mean, but yeah,
I love that. I remember, and it was funny because I remember watching a review of this woman who was like, yeah, it didn't go as campy as it should have been. And I'm like, what movie did you watch? Because
seriously.
she's
Yeah.
like, oh, because they keep making fun of the names. It's like, yeah, because
That's
the names are
campiness. Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Because it was made for children.
Exactly.
What?
And that's what I love that explanation. It's like, okay, yeah, he was a kid when he created those names. So yeah, I mean, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I think that's the best thing about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so a lot of
So,
fun. Go see it.
Super
At least one
diehard fan, go watch it. If you're a casual fan, maybe go see it. If you're not a fan of cornball stuff, don't go watch it, or maybe wait for streaming if you're curious. So
Yeah, exactly. So all right, so this is it. And what's our next review? I think Disclosure Day, right?
Disclosure Day. That's gonna be next week, and that's gonna be hosted by you.
That's, yes.
I'm sorry, I
that's
gotta
right.
learn to point the.
Right.
I gotta point the opposite way.
Wait, no, John or Devin?
No, you.
no,
John.
it's you. You're doing it.
That's
You're
what
the
I'm
biggest
saying.
Spielberg fan here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you.
okay, yeah,
That's what I was trying to
It's
point. I was trying to
you?
point the other way, so I'm pointing at you.
All right, so yeah, so this will be the fourth. This will be the Steven Spielberg's fourth Alien movie, fourth major Alien movie.
Oh,
So-
oh, wait, Austin just gave a
Austin
score.
has his review. Has
Austin has his review. Okay, let's go ahead. And give
a
Austin.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah, he said the
So-
movie was cheesy, but in a good way. The action is fun. The score is great. The acting was solid all throughout. 8.5 out of 10 for me, maybe a 9. And you know, I love it. So
I feel
yeah,
like this
had
is
a lot of
right up
fun.
Austin's alley. He loves that kind of cheesy stuff.
Oh yeah, I do too. I mean, this was like a lot of fun. You know, so I mean, this was a ton of fun. So this was great. So thanks for joining us, and see us next week for Disclosure Day. The master.
And always, hey, wait, and always remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, hey.
Please play the outro. Please play the outro. Save us from this hell.
You're still here?